Now, global oil prices, they have surged to a 4-year high. The rally reflects growing anxiety over energy security as the Gulf remains critical to global crude flows. Analysts point to grave consequences of oil production stops in Iran, with other regions already struggling to restart operations. Take a look at what experts have to say.
What the US blockade does in terms of a direct link to oil prices is it effectively prevents the sort of 1.8 million barrels per day of Iranian oil that was flowing out quite readily before the war and even during the war. It's essentially blocked this. Now, what this means is much like their other neighbors in the Middle East, their inability to export oil means that their onshore storage for oil rapidly gets filled up. And once that's full, they need to shut down production. By our calculations at Kepler, they have maybe around 10 to 12 days left of basically storage capacity before they need to start materially cutting production. And if this blockade extends, as has been signaled, we could see, at least in the next month of May, Iranian oil production drop by maybe around 1.5 million barrels per day. So that removal of even more supply is what's pushing the prices higher, because the market now realizes that we're losing even more oil in a world, and changes the supply and demand balance.
Since the conflict began, Brent prices have nearly doubled, while US benchmark crude is up around 90%. However, prices later retreated from their peak, highlighting heightened volatility in global energy markets. Sustained high oil prices pose significant risks to global economy, potentially triggering a fresh wave of inflation. Higher crude costs directly impact fuel prices, transportation, and industrial production, while also raising input costs for sectors like plastics and fertilizers.
We're talking about oil right now, but it's not only oil that is, prevented essentially from passing through the Strait of Hormuz. We have liquefied natural gas, fertilizers, a whole other means of oil-related products that are essentially blocked in the Strait of Hormuz. Now, when we take this whole spectrum of products that are blocked in, it really does touch every single part of our lives, from, petrol to diesel for manufacturing, from gas to powering companies, but also to heating our homes and generating our electricity, and then also looking at things like fertilizers.
With oil on track for a fourth consecutive month of gains, markets remain on edge over how long the supply disruption could last and its broader economic consequences.